Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Toyless Titles. This is a special bonus episode. That's why we don't have the theme music going on. I just kind of threw this together last minute. Kind of surprised my man Mark with it, kind of last minute. But this one is going to be only solely on the Frankenstank playlist on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Toyless Titles. For those of you that know about the Frankenstank, you know that the schedule has been a thing in the past. And I'm leaving that thing in the past because I finally figured out a proper way to make it as random as possible. The first year it was brought to my attention was 2 years ago when the same person would follow the next same person every single week. So, like for instance, if 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 Mark was team number 3 and I was team number 4, then team number 3 would play, like let's say they played team 8 in week 1. Well, then I would play team 8 in week 2. And then every time he played somebody, I would play that same team the following week. And that's what happens when we use my fantasy league as the automatic scheduler. So and the reason that's bad for Frankenstank is because if you win, you get to steal a player. So if Mark also has a good team and he's winning every week, he's stealing the best player off of the team that I'm playing the next week, and I only get second best dibs the next week every single week, and that's just not fair. So then last season we randomized it, and I randomized it all off screen, and of course I ended up having my best season yet in Frankenstank. So and the schedule just happened to fall perfectly for me in the beginning of the season. We did have somebody that just kind of had to give a side shot towards me, like I am the one that set up the schedule, so I did it that way on purpose, even though he had no idea that I set the schedule before we ever even did the draft, just like I'm doing right now because we haven't started the drafts. I guess technically I had to play in the live draft, but it's not even done yet. But so what I'm doing, I'm going full transparency. I'm throwing it all out here on YouTube. We're going to randomize it. You're going to see the wheel. You're going to see my whole process, just to throw it all out there for everybody. But before we get to that, Mark, you and I had a fun time last weekend in Canton, Ohio. How are you doing this week, my man? You ready to go back yet?
Yeah, I mean, Canton was a blast. I wish we were still there, right?
Yeah.
No, but yeah, no, it was hard coming back to work after such a good time. But we're back. We're doing it. Frank's here, baby. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. Devi Domination. That face right there looks familiar. What's happening, my man? Yes, Frank is the GOAT. That's it's a crazy league's greatest of all time. But I appreciate you tuning in, buddy. Let's see. Yeah, so like I said, this is just a scheduling episode. We're not talking fantasy. We're not talking recent news or any of that. You guys will get that in a couple of nights on the Tuesday night show whenever Mark, myself, and Nate will be back with our weekly show. And this week, we're bringing on the Iceman and maybe even DJ Prue. We're going to be talking some bets. As a matter of fact, there's a good chance I might take that night off because let's face it, Nate and Mark are a lot better at the gambling stuff than I am. I'll just kind of get in the way. So I might just let Nate and Mark run the show on that one. Our man Rich is in the house. He's ready to see his schedule. He's ready to see his Frank schedule. I think I've given it enough time here. We're almost 4 minutes in to try to let people kind of jump in and watch. But all right, so here's how this is going to work. I'm going to pull this up first. If you'll notice, Mark is in control of the board. I'm going to control the wheel. But we're going to start with the Frankenstank division. And right there to the left, you see where it says team name. And then to the right of that, it says team number. Okay, so what we're going to do, where did I put that? I keep losing it. Here we go. So it says team name. And then right here, it says team number. So whatever the first team that I randomly spin from the Frankenstank division will go right here, and they will be team number 1. So then in week number 1, you can see the weeks across here. Week number 1, they will play team 12, so whoever ends up here. And then in week 2, they will play team 7, so whoever ends up here, and right on down the line. Since we have 13 weeks in the regular season, you will play every team twice. So whoever you play in the first week, you will also play in the second to last week, week 12. Whoever you play in week 2, you'll also play in week 13. Guys, there's strategy involved there when you're thinking about using monster cards, when you're thinking about who you're going to steal. You might consider what teams you think might look good or look bad by that time, and take a look at it. So yeah, you got to plan ahead, knowing that you're going to be playing those first two teams again at the end of the regular season. So just something to throw out there. But all right, Mark, are we ready to roll?
I think we're ready. Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to do the wheel spin here for Frank. And let's see. I'm going to shuffle 3 times because that's what I always do. I've got all of the Frankenstank division people up here. Our man Frank is going to be controlling the wheel for all of the divisions, though, so I don't have to waste your time changing the background. Beryl Joffrey gets to be team number 1. That is BioRaptors. And I believe he also won the rock paper scissors contest for that division too, so he's going to be determining draft order as well. So that's pretty sweet. He's got a little bit of a jump start on that. I'm trying to see, how do I shut this sound off? We don't need to launch the confetti. Subtle applause. That didn't sound subtle. All right, there we go. No sound.
Justin, I think I'm still in view only.
Hit refresh. Since I allowed access, you should be able to hit refresh and be good.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, so then the next one, team 2. Oh, I need to pop this back up. Team 2. At GG_FF bots. Now we're having a little bit of trouble getting a hold of her. I believe I don't really remember her name. I think it was Gina, maybe, but
I think it's Tracy.
Tracy, that's right. Yes, Tracy.
I'm pretty sure she's in that other league and has been chatting in there that we're in. So I'm sure we can get a hold of her.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that and have her get a hold of the commissioner for the Frankenstank division, which is, I got it here. The commissioner of the Frankenstank division is Shane. So we need to have her get a hold of Shane Hallam. So if you've seen her in that other chat, if you could just take a note and remember to do that for me after we're done here.
Yep.
All right. So shuffle 3 times. So team 3, Beelzebub. I'm glad you're copy and pasting because that one always throws me off. But Beelzebub will be team 3. I'm going to try to fly through these so you can just let me know if I'm going too fast.
Oh, you're good. Oh, we got Surf Football in the chat saying he's here to learn more about Frank.
Team 4 is Zombie Redneck Torture Family. So there's something you can learn about Frank there, Surf Football, as if you're going to play in the Frankenstank League, you definitely want to make sure you have a really badass monster themed team name like the Zombie Redneck Torture Family. This is one of the few that I actually let slide because we don't want the same monster to be used twice if we can avoid it, and we already have the Buckner family, and that's what the Zombie Redneck Torture Family is based off of. But the team name was so awesome that I never hit him up to tell him to change it. So we have 2 Buckner families technically. The other one was first, so I'm going to let them hold. But yeah, so and then the other time that it happened was I didn't realize that I think Godzilla is the one that's called the King of the Monsters. So when that team name called himself the King of the Monsters, I didn't realize we already had a Godzilla, which I don't think we do anymore. So it worked out. But anyway, I digress. So Zombie Redneck is that was what, team 4?
Team 4. Yep.
Okay. Team 5.
Have you always kept the same monster name, Justin?
No. I was I forget what I was the first 2 seasons or 3 seasons, but I changed it up. Actually, yeah, it was the first 3 seasons. I was something different. I changed it up last year because I'm a big Jigsaw fan. Oh yeah, I remember. I was the Phantom of the Gridiron because Coach and I were trying to keep it classic at the beginning, but then we just had so many people in there that you run out of classic monsters. So
Yeah.
since we were running out of classic monsters, and that we already had a Phantom division, I decided to break away and go with my personal favorite, which is Jigsaw. So I'm now Justin's Jigsaw of Judgment because I can get a little judgy when it comes to the Frank. But the Thing is now Team 5, and actually, yeah, I wanted to mention too that Sir Football. I met him at Canton this past weekend. So this dude is absolutely phenomenal. He runs his own fantasy football platform, and you can get on there. You can run. He runs leagues on there. You can jump in one of his leagues. So make sure you're hitting him up. Comment, subscribe to him, Sir Football, and then comment to him because the theme that he has there is really cool there too. Like you get a basic idea from looking at his avatar there, but I think he could probably explain it a lot better than I could. But um, and then, of course, we've got Wyatt in the house, man. It's good to see you back. It's good to be. We're starting to see some of these guys from last season slowly coming back around now that football is starting to warm up. So appreciate you tuning in. Yeah. Wyatt was the Buckner family. He was the original, the OG. So that's why I let him hang on to it. Bayou Bengals in the house again, man. I think this is like 2 or 3 episodes in a row.
What's up, dude? I hopped in his chat and did the whole first time thing. He didn't remember at first, but he caught on quick, so I'll forgive him.
Right on. Yep, Wyatt's a good man. Absolutely. Yeah, we love Wyatt. All right, so we're on to Team 6.
Yep.
Team 6 is Mike Wazowski. Not all monsters have to be scary. Beetlejuice could potentially be a new one. It's recent now that they have part 2 that has just come out after, 25, 30 years. Team Cujo is the next team on the list.
Yeah, the new Beetlejuice looks kind of solid. I'm kind of
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's the previews. So they're only going to show us their best, but nostalgic too. Captain Spaulding is the next one. I love that name.
Speaking of horror movies, have you seen Abigail? It's a newer movie. I just watched it today.
I don't know, but
Pretty crazy. I enjoyed it.
I
It's
just wrote it down.
ballerine chick who was a vampire, just like crazy. It was pretty crazy.
Now we have Purple People Eaters next, but I'll definitely check that out. Obviously,
I think it was on Peacock. It was either Peacock or Paramount that I watched it.
Now it's not a prerequisite to have to enjoy monster movies to play in the Frank, but it is a little bit more fun if you do. Chupacabra, that's our co-host Nate. He is Team 10. Team 11 is the Fantasy Reaper, which I believe is Duarte. I think he changed his team name. I think that's our man Duarte. I didn't put the full name in there because it was kind of long, which makes Mr. Babadook Team 12. So now let me get the next one set up here. The next division we're going to do is the Brasco of Bagul. All right. And we have 12 entries here as well. So now here's the Brasco division. Jerry's in the house.
What's up, Jerry?
What's happening, Jerry? It's good to see him in Canton last weekend. Slender Man is team 1 for the Brasco division. Yes, sir, Wyatt. We're excited. We're excited. All right. Next we have team 2. Sports Addicts are in the house. Go check out their YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button right after you subscribe to ours as well if you're not already. We appreciate that. Freddie Krueger is going to be team 2 in the Brasco of Bagul division. I'm going to go ahead and switch over real quick and let you guys see where we're at here. If you could scroll up. Scroll back up to the top, please,
Yep.
and I'll just to explain it real quick one time here. So just as a for instance, now that we have the first division here, Raptors is team 1. He plays team 12 in week 1, so he'll be playing Mr. Babadook. He will be playing team 7 in week 2, so in week 2, he's playing team Cujo. So it should be pretty simple to read through from that from this right here. And I'm going to slowly be entering the schedule one team at a time. So you guys please be very patient with me on that. But I'm hoping to have them all inputted and ready to go by the time we finish up all the drafts. So I usually do whichever division is the closest to finishing at that time. So the next team is our man Sheps, Coach Sheps, Wolfman Coverage. He is a founder of Toyless Titles and a founder of the Frank. So it'll be fun to be in a league with him again. The next team for the Brasco division is our man Joey, Lucille. Lucille as in the bat from The Walking Dead. So next we have Bob Harris from the Football Diehards. Bob Harris is the next team up. And his brand is Football Diehards, so he already had a good team name built in. I think I just capitalized the word die on his Diehards in the MFL. The next team. The next team is Pennywise. Now, if any of you are out there, this is Sean Robinson. He's been a long-time Frank player. He's already confirmed with me once before that he wanted back in, but now I'm having trouble getting a hold of him. So if any of you are out there that know how to contact him any way other than Twitter, please reach out to him. I need to get him in our Discord channel. For those of you watching this, if you're playing in Frank and you're not already in our Discord channel, please reach out to me at JustinFF_ so I can get you in the Discord channel. It's extremely important for communication so we can speed this up and get these drafts going ASAP. But Sean Robinson is one of them that we're having some trouble with. But Pennywise, dude made a deep run into the playoffs last year, and I think he did the year before. He's always solid in this league. So I know he wants back because he wants to take down that title. Let's see. Next we have the Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman is back for another season. Appreciate you. Andrew Campy, the Invisible Men, is the next team. The man that created our website, which is toylesttitles.com, by the way. Next we have Falcor. Falcor, that's Carla. Appreciate you playing again. Graboids, that's the Fantasy Sven. For those of you that were at Canton at Draft Night Out, he was your MC. and the commissioner of your Draft Night Out League. So so send him a thank you. That's Graboy's Fantasy Sven. Also, a pretty decent cook from the sounds out of it. If you follow him on Twitter, Frankencastle. That's Coach Fry. Good to have him back. Which means that Michael Myers is Team 12.
That's Tone, right?
Yeah, that's Tone. That's our defending champ. So, congratulations. He is Team 12. Hey, Beryl, we already mentioned you, buddy. Yeah, you were, I believe, Team 1. Let me show that again. Go back up to the top to the Frank division, please.
Yipper.
Yeah, so you were right here, Bioraptors. That's Beryl. He is Team 1 in the Frank division. So, again, Beryl, for Team 1, you'll play Team 12 in Week 1, which is Mr. Babadook. So that's the schedule that you need to take a look at first. Make sure you're watching his team as the draft's going so you know how you want to plan for your Week 1 shenanigans. All right, so next we have what's the next division? It would be the Phantom of the Porta Potty division will be next. All right, let me get that set up.
Yours truly will be commissioning this division, so don't give me any problems.
Yeah, because if you give him hell, then I have to also give him hell. So there's 12 there. All right. All right. If I read any of these off that you're having trouble getting a hold of, oh, actually, you gave me the list. I can mention it. Speaking of the devil, so here's Bobby Cable's Hulk Smash. For those of you that know Bobby, this team name is very fitting. Of course, the Hulk is not really a monster. Like, I mean, yeah, he's a big green monster, whatever. But you know, if Bobby Cables wants the team name Hulk Smash, you don't tell Bobby Cables no. So I gladly went ahead and said sure. So but anyhow, Bobby Cables, if you guys are if you out there, you know Bobby, just have him directly message Mark here. Mark, what's your Twitter address?
MT Simon.
MT Simon at MT Simon.
Yep.
All right. Team 2 in this division. Sinister 2, which we actually got. I got to draft anyway with Sinister 2. That's Mark Shue. And I got to draft like right next to him at Draft Night Out. So that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Get guys, like I'm reading off all of these names, like, and Mark Shue, it was funny. We got into the draft like a pretty decent amount before we were kind of talking, and then it's like it dawned on us that I was the Frank guy and he was the Sinister 2 guy. And so like go to Canton, meet these people. Like it's a lot of fun to actually get to see their faces. You know who you're working with on a weekly or sometimes more basis during the season. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You don't have to be a content creator to go to Canton. We want fans there. So if you're a fan, just enjoy fantasy football, show up, draft. It's fun.
Yeah, like our man Gary DePriel, who's in the Frank now for a second year in a row. We got to have a few good conversations with him this weekend. Jason Voorhees is next.
So Jason Voorhees is my favorite monster. He's already been taken for a couple years, but I had a great name for him if he wasn't. It was going to be Jason Voorhees, New York City rooftop punch out. Like instead of Mike Tyson's punch out, Jason Voorhees punch out. And then I had that gif of him in that boxing match on top of the roof.
Gotcha. You were all set and ready.
Ready to go. But I think my team name this year is just as good. So I'm happy with it.
All right, Kelpies is next. That's a mythical evil horse for those of you that don't know. And yeah, so Jerry Janigan is actually Jason Voorhees. So Jerry Janigan, I was just able to send him a message on Twitter, so I think we should be able to get through to him. But again, just in case, we haven't really been able to talk to him yet. So if any of you know of a better way to reach him, please reach out to him. Psycho is the next team on the list here. And so Psycho is Steve Varner. I kind of felt bad because he was wanting to name his team name after something that was already taken. But for what it's worth, like Psycho, I was always surprised that Norman Bates or Psycho wasn't a part of the Frank. And up until this season, Alfred Hitchcock wasn't even a part of the Frank. But we now have a new monster card, the Birds, where we have a likeness of Alfred Hitchcock, sort of, with my face superimposed on it because I'm a big fan of his. But now, so it's awesome to have Psycho as a team name here, and it's actually Psycho the Bates Locker Room. So that's a pretty team name. So hats off to you, Steve Varner. That's the Fantasy Goo right on Twitter, by the way. Okay, so did I? Oh yeah. Next we have. My brother-in-law, Chucky's Last Stand. Obviously a big Chucky fan. Duarte's in the house. We mentioned you earlier too, Duarte. If you want to go back a little bit, but essentially we already have. Actually, go ahead and scroll up. We'll show Duarte since he's chiming in here. So Duarte up at the top here. Where was it? Where was Duarte's team?
You say it was Purple People Eaters, or
no?
Which one you said it was?
Oh, the Fantasy Reaper. The Fantasy Reaper. I believe he's the Fantasy Reaper. So you are Team 11. So as you look at this schedule, you can go ahead and pause it now, Duarte. But you will play Team 2 in Week 1. That's how that works. So Team 2 is at GG_FFbots. So she'll have a team name once we get her completely set up. Then you'll play Team 5 in Week 2. So you go to Team 5. You're playing The Thing, who is the defending champ. I know I said defending champ earlier with Dion, but I think he was the previous season. But The Thing won it. Elliot Probst won it last season as The Thing. So yeah. So again, just wanted to throw that out there. We can go back to our wheel here because I saw Duarte, so I wanted to say hi. Let's see. Joffrey says, I'm going to put myself next to Babadook in the draft order so I can keep a close eye on him. I like it. That's as good of a reason as any. And Beryl is able to choose the draft order because he won the rock, paper, scissors competition for his division. So, guys, this is a wild league. All right. This is a very wild league. We're full now, but if I can get the interest of 12 more people that want in, maybe I'll add another one. I don't know. But if you're watching this now and you think you might want in on this, at the very least, if you really want a shot, then what I can do is make you an alternate. And then if we have people drop out because they start off 0-2, or we can't get a hold of some of these people that are just a month or so said that they wanted back in, then we may need fill in as well. So what's up, Beachman? Beachman is sitting in the championship of one of the rock, paper, scissors contests right now, waiting on us to get a hold of some people. So thanks for checking in here, Beachman. Let's see. Next we have Uncle Steve, the infamous Uncle Steve Mephistopheles, the oldest monster in television. Essentially, he's just another form of the devil, fitting for the infamous Uncle Steve. The next team, Hannibal Eckler. Hannibal Eckler. So this for one, that's a new card. The Hannibal Lecter card is a new card, but also another guy we're trying to get a hold of. This is Nick Faria. And it doesn't look like his Twitter handle is active on Twitter any longer, but I just spoke with him a couple weeks ago and he was excited and ready to play again. So if anybody out there knows of Nick Faria and can get a hold of him, please tell him to contact me at JustinFF_ or contact Mark, who is his actual commissioner. It'd be even better if he contacted Mark at MT Simon, Simon. So that would be preferred, but also Nick and I go back to his first year in the Frank and even before that. So I know he's comfortable with me. He can reach out to me too, and we'll get him in touch with Mark, however he wants to do it.
He's actually up right now in the second round. He got a bye in the rock, paper, scissors match. He's going to be going up against Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve wanted me to put a clock on him. I said, hey, slow down. We're trying to get him in.
Yeah, we can't put a clock on people this time, but just because we're trying to do it as we're getting people into the league. So Brundlefly is next up. I heard an oops. Are we good?
Yeah, no, I was just on the wrong tab. I clicked on the wrong thing.
No problem. All right. After the Brundlefly, we have
Silent Wraithass.
Yeah, silent but deadly. The Wraith Assassins. Yeah, that's actually a new team name. So forgive me if I can't remember who it was that had that team before, but they just changed their team name from something different. If I would know who it was if I saw last year's name, but they are team 10. So team 11 is our man George the Praxa. That's George Reed at George Reed FF, I believe. But anyway, yeah, George Reed from Break from the Grind. Let's see.
So that leaves Keegan.
And from several other shows on Toyless Titles that he does with me throughout the season. But yeah, I think Keegan. Yep, the Crypt Keeper. That's the Frito Bandito Jr. All right. Let me get the next wheel set up. Next, we're going to go to the Invisible Urinal. I only have 11 here. I must have missed one. Uh-oh. Well, there were 12 earlier.
Invisible Urinal.
Yeah, just read them off to me if you
Darnold the hell. I don't see that on here.
Darn it all to hell.
Darnold, yeah. Darnold all to hell. It's Chris Fox Sports.
Yeah, he was on there earlier. I don't know what happened. But we got him now. So now there's 12. All right. Invisible Urinal. Okay. Shoot. I don't know where to go. I've got so many tabs open. All right. So team number 1 in the Invisible Urinal division will be I just made up a name for this guy just until we can get him in, but this is a new monster to the Frankenstank. He got in off of a friend referral through our guy Sean, but Andrew Patterson's monster team. So we'll just put that as team 1 for now. Team 2 will be there he is. That's Wyatt, the Buckner family. Team 2 for the Buckner family. Team 3 will be Balerion, and that's actually Balerion, the Black Dread, but we're just doing Balerion for now. The next team in this division will be the Kraken. And then we have Teen Wolf. That's Spidey's. Very
now,
active on Twitter.
What's coach's name? Is that Teen Wolf as well, or no? Is that something different?
No, he's werewolf. Yeah, or Wolfman coverage. Yeah, so he's like the original OG Wolfman. This
Gotcha.
is the
Teen
Michael. Yeah, the Michael J. Fox Teen Wolf. So,
Gotcha.
Let's see. Venomize Thanos.
I mean, that would kind of be scary. A venomized Thanos.
Yeah. I guess they have the venomized versions of a lot of the superheroes. Price's Thrillers. I actually like this team name. It's and I was kind of thinking he meant Thriller as in Michael Jackson, and I mean that can be scary on a couple different levels. But and then I went and saw on the MFL site that his icon is actually the Michael Jackson, zombified Thriller. So it fits. It definitely fits as a theme. So good on you, Mr. Price. That's Bobby Price. My nose is very stuffed up. The next one is the King of the Monsters.
Godzilla, as we were just talking about.
Yep. And I think it's now the only Godzilla because I think the other one is no longer. All right. Team 9 will be Predator.
My former team. Well, I was a specific wolf predator, but
yeah, very specific one. Yeah. But
Might be
yeah,
different.
Predator, definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't grow up in our era without enjoying some Predator. Darnold All the Hell will be Team 10. Again, that's Chris Payne. Thanks for joining. Team 11 will be Vlad the Impaler, another longtime Patreon and longtime Frank player. I think Vlad might go back to the original, the very first year we did Frank. So he's Team 11. Oh, I don't need to shuffle it. King Kong will be Team 12.
All right, there's your full list.
All right. Actually, I haven't been showing the full list, so there you go. There's the full list for the 4 while I get the next wheel ready. All right, so next is our division, Mark, live from Canton. So this is the Mummies Toot division. Here we go. Jerry, yeah, we have 6 divisions in total. This one is ours, Jerry. We were number 5 of the 6, and I didn't just do that because I saw you in the chat and I wanted the watch hours either. I already had a preset, I promise. But no, so this is our division, Jerry. Here we go. Team 1 in our division. And this isn't draft order. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is for our schedule. We're doing rock, paper, scissors for the draft order. Sammy Terry, which is my son, who was also Team 1 in the draft order too. He is Team 1 in the schedule.
Wouldn't
So
that
now
be fun?
I really hope I'm not Team 12 now. Team 2 is the Pinheads.
That's Jerry,
So
right?
that's that's our man Jerry in the house. Appreciate you. So now, who does Team 2 play in week 1?
Team 2 plays Team 11 in week 1.
All right, so whoever we pull up for Team 11, Jerry, that's who you play in week 1. See, Team 3 will be Swamp Thing. That is Jason. That's Jason from Break from the Grind. He is George's partner in the charity leagues that they run, and also does a show for us on Sunday mornings, the Start Sit show called Title Time. Definitely tune in for that because he's good at telling you who to start and who to sit. That'll start week 1 of the NFL season, I'm sure. Team 3, is that what we're on? Team 3?
4.
Team 4. Team 4, the Mad Scientist, FF Mad Scientist. That's Aaron St. Dennis, who may or may not be in the chat. He chimes in pretty often sometimes. But Team 5 will be Fantasy Slashers. That's our man David Genesis. Also chimes in a lot on Title Time and Sunday Night Live in the off season. Let's see. He's also the founder of Genesis Card Breaks. You can check him out on Facebook. The next team will be, there you go.
There's me.
I like how you had to get rid of a space just to be able to fit it all.
Come on, say my team name. It's a mouthful.
Ghostface's Fish Gutting Emporium. So when I think
Correct.
Emporium, I think of like the ale Emporium. I think of like beer. Obviously, you can have more types of emporiums, but yeah, this one, Ghostface is obviously a main staple in the more modern era of horror. So that's a pretty creative name.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to tie into his famous quote where he told her he was going to gut her like a fish. So,
right. Yeah, no, I definitely got it. The Fiend. So this one's named after a wrestler. For those of you that don't know wrestling, I guess this was a longtime bad guy. So that's the Fiend, and I believe that was Frank, our man Frank, who won pretty much single-handedly. Let's admit it. He pretty much single-handedly won the flag football tournament for his team because his same team is the team that got second place last year. But then they won it this year. And the only difference was he wasn't on their team last year, but he was on the team this year. So that was like the only big difference. So obviously that means that Frank from Frank won them the title. So good on you, Frank.
I kid you guys not, Justin was their biggest cheerleader at the event.
You better believe it because he's in the Frankenstank. I gotta root for. Yeah. Let's see. Can't wait to play Vlad in week 1. I was gonna warn you. I didn't see the pure sarcasm at first until after I read it. But Vlad, like I said, he's a long time player, so he definitely knows the game. So don't forget, Wyatt. You can reach out to us for some advice as well. Especially since you're not in our division. Let's see. Next we have Shane Hallam, the Hallam humans. Obviously, his monster are humans, and it doesn't get much more scary than that. But Shane has been helping me out tremendously with my fantasy league stuff. You guys know that the background stuff on the commissioner's end is pretty difficult. So thank you very much for your help, Shane. But I wish I could wish you luck this year, and Frank, but you're in my division, and you are my arch rival and bitter enemy when it comes to Frankenstank. You know this. He and I have had some back and forth with this league. So not looking forward to him being in my division, but I did say that if he went to the live draft, and there was at least a good chance that I would be in his division with him, because I already know every time that I'm going to end up getting stuck doing the live draft because we always have people bail out. And sure enough, that's what happened. So here I am yet again. I have to face him. Who does he play in week 1?
Who does he play in week 1? He will play Team 5, which is
Okay, so not me.
David Genesis. Yep.
Okay, that's fine. It's not me. Like, I just know, like, I need to prep for that week. All right. So team 9 is going to be Massilian Maulers. That's our man Gary that I was just talking about. Not a content creator, but somebody that just likes to come to the expo and hang out and meet the content creators that he interacts with, and that's what it's all about. Just like Mark was trying to say, that's what we need more
100%.
at the expo. So, so thank you, Gary, for your support and constantly listening to not only us, but a lot of other content creators out there that I saw you chopping it up with, man. That's really awesome. So I'm glad you got to meet a lot of the other guys. Like I said, this is my second year seeing you there. So greatly appreciate you, man. And I said I didn't want to be Team 12 and have to play my son in week 1, also meaning I'd have to play him twice. So it's looking more and more like there's an opportunity. Like there's a 33% chance.
I'm rooting for it at this point.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Ah.
All right, I'm Team 10. So as Team 10, who do I have in week 1?
Let's see. You have team number 3, which is Swamp Thing.
Oh, that's Jason. That's an easy win. That's practically a bye week. I get 2 bye weeks. Yes.
Oh, but
All
guess
right.
what? He has
What?
CMC, and you can't take him from him because he's got Negan.
Oh, that jerk. Yeah. Again, that's the monster cards. He has the Negan monster card, which allows you to save one player all season from being stolen. This is it's really a pirate league where everybody that wins in each week gets to steal a player from their opponent. We call it vampire because it's monster themed. A traditional vampire, only one team will get to steal, but whatever. But anyway, if you win, you get to steal a player. I'm not going to be able to steal CMC from him. And I have the Ghostbuster card as my monster card, and all it does is stop people from being able to use their cards against you, but it has no power against Negan. So there's that. Oh, well, it is what it is. Next we have Team 11. Another returning champion from the Frank. Remember the Typhon or Typhon. It's one of those anime things. I don't know anything about it. He had the same thing with Mum-Ra St. Brown before when he won the championship, but whatever. It's a play on Remember the Titans, but it's our man Iceman who's going to be on the show Tuesday night with us in 2 nights. So maybe he can explain it to you. Team 12 is Strad von Zarevich, which I look this up every year, and I look it up 2 or 3 times a year, and I still don't know who that is. But Strad von Zarevich is Team 12. But that's our man Hero J, actually. That's the guy from the Powers League. What's that called?
Fantasy Powers League.
Fantasy Powers League. That's right. So we got him roped into Frank last year. So he got us roped into his crazy league this year. And it has a lot of crazy rules that are different from Frank. Like, I mean, some of the basic same ideas where you get like superpower type things here and there, but totally different as far as like the format and stuff. So looking forward to learning how to play in that league as well. But maybe if you're at Canton next year, you can sign up for his league as well if you like crazy leagues like this one. All right, we just have one more division, right?
So in the chat, Jerry said it's him versus Ice in the first week.
There you go. So he won 2 years ago, I think it was. So so there's that. He is a defending champ. So Iceman definitely knows the Frank. So good luck with that, Jerry. But because you're a Patreon supporter and he is a defending champ, we're all going to be rooting for you, Jerry. We all want to see you kick the Ice's ace.
I mean, Ice likes to say he's a 2-time defending champ because last year he won the losers bracket, but I don't know. I don't know if you
Well,
want to celebrate
it
that.
wasn't. It was. I will give him this much. It wasn't just the losers bracket. It wasn't just any losers bracket. It was the first ever Patreon only losers bracket. So I took all the Patreons that did not win or did not make it into the Frank playoffs and gave them their own Patreon only losers bracket, and they competed for a prize. That's another thing I like about the Frank guys. If you don't make the playoffs, you're still going to be in a playoff for a prize. I even had the last consolation tournament was any teams that had 2 or less wins all season was in their own consolation bracket, and they played a tournament for prizes. So there are prizes out there for everybody, if as long as you keep trying. And this year we're adding for the playoffs. The last 6 playoff seeds are going to be given to the teams, the 6 teams in each division. One team from each division that scores the most points. If they're not already in the playoffs, like let's say you didn't already make the playoffs with the first 24 seeds, because 30 teams make the playoffs. If you didn't make the playoffs with those first 24 seeds and you scored the most points within your division in week 13 out of any of the other teams in your division that's not already locked into a playoff spot, then you get a playoff spot. So you could legitimately only have 0 wins all season, but you had that one really good week in week 13 and make the playoffs, because it shows that you're not giving up. As long as you don't give up and you keep trying and you keep pushing, you keep setting good lineups, it's bound to happen. Eventually you're going to start getting a little bit of a bounce back, and once you make the playoffs, it's just like any other fantasy league. It's all, if you have a good week, you got a shot. So that is one good twist that we added into the playoffs there. But let's do this last division. I'm starting to lose my voice, and my nose is clogging up. Leo Navarro is a new Frank addition. This is his first year in the Frank. Again, I believe he's another add-on from our man Sean, giving us referrals, getting his buddies into the Frank. So you guys can blame Sean when your brain is hurting early on in the season. Team 2 for this division. Which division is this? The Creature. Creature of the Staff Bathroom. This is El Kukui. This is our man Rich, who was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still hanging out with us or not, but you are Team 2. Rich also, most likely, I would imagine anyway, will be chiming in on our title time episodes on Sunday mornings to help you with your start sit needs. And if you need any draft advice, reach out to him. He's a drafting wizard. Team 3, Vecna. Incredible team name. I love that one. I'm glad Stranger Things made an appearance. They also made an appearance with a new monster card, Mind Flayer, and Coach Sheps and his son came up with that one, so that was nice. Let's see. The monster cards give you bonuses for those of you that are just chiming in. Son of Sam is my nephew Gavin. He is the next team here, and his Son of Sam obviously is a serial killer, but also Gavin's dad's name is Sam, so it worked. The next one is the Australian Drop Bears. That's another Sean. I believe that's Sean McCormick. I think he's the Australian Drop Bears. He was in the live draft last year, and then he won a free entry this year, but already paid. So he already has a free entry into Frank 6 next season. Demogorgon, our buddy Demogorgon is the next team.
Also another Stranger Things monster.
Yes. Yep. I actually forgot about that. Demogorgon's been in it for a couple of years now. So this should be Team 7, right?
Yes.
All right. The Toxic Avengers, Team 7. That is Stephen Middleton. So he is a top tier Patreon supporter, like the high level. Like if we keep raising our prices, he keeps bumping up his Patreon support. So this guy's kind of like an MVP around these parts. So hopefully we set him up with a nice little schedule. Team 8 is Swamp Gator. We've had him on the show before. I think actually I might have been on one of his shows as well. But he's back for another. I had to switch him up because Swamp Thing and Swamp Gator were in the same division last year, and it drove me crazy. So I've got them split up. No more swamp battles. Team 9 is I love this team name because they found a way to mix in their brand, which is awesome. The Dynasty Dex Demon Derek. So it's a demon, which is fine. We did have the Demonic Infusion last year and another team name that had demon in it, but the Demonic Infusion was a little bit different. But now this is our only demon. So Derek, you're good. You have the only demon. So I love the team name. I like the creativity of throwing in your brand there too. Team 10 is Mick Taylor of Wolf Creek. If you haven't seen Wolf Creek, that's a good one. Team 11, Nahul, which means Team 12 is Dracula.
Classic monster right there.
That's right. Yeah, and just making sure that Dracula is Cruz actually, or Cruiser. So our man Cruiser actually interacts with us a lot on Twitter and tags us in a lot of stuff on Twitter. So appreciate you, sir. But that is your Frankenstank 2024 schedule, fantasy listener league schedule. So here's the full screen. Hopefully you can zoom in. And but yeah, there's all 6 divisions. You know exactly who you're playing each week. And reach out to us if you have any questions. Again, if you're one of those guys that we're having trouble getting a hold of, or if you if you're one of those people out there that we have been able to get a hold of and we're struggling to get a hold of some of those people that we mentioned before, please make sure you reach out to them. Tell them to get a hold of us at JustinFF_ or at MT Simon or at Toyless Titles or at Coach Sheps. Just at one of us so we can get you into the Discord and we can start getting this thing rolling. We have one draft that is well over halfway done because we drafted most of it live in Canton. We have another draft that's just about to start probably tomorrow or Tuesday. And then a couple of divisions that are really close. We're only missing just a couple of guys that need to chime in with us so we can get their rock, paper, scissors request, I guess it is. So we do a rock, paper, scissors tournament to determine draft order. So once we get that draft order, we're good to go. Yep, I see that. Yep, about the stuff we spoke about. Yep. All right. So hopefully that helped give you some ideas then, Sir Football. So my thought process there was I'm hoping that if he can come up with some way, some platform for us to use so that we don't have to go through some of the headaches that we go through with my fantasy league, then that would be amazing. Like, stuff like getting double charged this year. Which turns out like it wasn't necessarily their fault, but they have an account that's an old dead account with a dead phone number on it. I don't know. It was all really super confusing, but anyway, it is what it is. I still really like my fantasy league. It's just, definitely wanted to try to get something new and different if we can. And Sir Football's brand with the other stuff that he has on his website looks like something that could be kind of up our alley and more to our fit. So anyway, appreciate you all tuning in. Reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, concerns. If you want in the Frank as an alternate, right now I'm currently down to my last alternate, which is my wife, and she does not want to play. unless she has to. So as the alternates roll in, I'm going to put you above her name. But if I can get 12 of you in, or even just 11 to get another division in, and we have to make her play again, we will. But also I'm not pushing it. Like, we have 6. This is good. I'd have to get 12 pretty quick, like within the next couple days or so, to really push for a whole nother division, because of the time crunch with the season starting in 2 weeks. Check us out Tuesday night. We're going to do some preseason bets, and I don't mean bets on preseason games. I mean the season-long bets for the season coming up, with Mark and Nate and Iceman, and hopefully DJ Prue can make an appearance. And then after that, we're going to be doing I think from there, we jump right back into our in-season stuff. So, game of the week, and start them or quit them, and, keep them or sit them, and all the different new segments that I have coming out for the new weekly episodes. Shortly after that, we'll be starting our start and sit episodes on Sunday mornings. Shortly after that, we'll be starting our Friday night This Guy is Fragile episodes, where we talk about all the injury news and updates. And we have on awesome experts like Dr. Jesse Morse on to talk injury updates. Just a lot of different episodes throughout the Dynasty guys. We're going to have Wicked and AJ and Dynasty Dog Mike on to do their Dynasty episodes on a regular basis. So it's going to be fun, Mark. You'll have to get your feet wet on a couple of those other episodes, I'm sure.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Well, this was supposed to be a quick 20-minute episode, but I always underestimate how much I can ramble on when I get the wheel involved.
20 minutes.
Yeah, but we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you reach out to us if you need anything, and patreon.com/toilets to titles.